wondered how to make a medicinal oil infusion right in your kitchen? If so, then this is the video for you. Hello, my name is Angela from the website naturallivingalchemy.ca. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you a simple tutorial about how you can easily make a medicinal oil right in your own kitchen with a few simple tools you probably already have. So let's get started. What is a medicinal infused oil? Well, basically, it is just a carrier oil that has been infused with one or more herbs. And of course, you could use a non-infused carrier oil in your medicines, in your concoctions, and whatever it is that you're wanting to make. But why wouldn't we want to make it all that more powerful by infusing the benefits of some of our plant allies? Now, I am going to have in the description box below a full written blog article that accompanies this video. But for the sake of time, and I know you're busy, we're just going to stick with the basics of what we need to know on how we're going to make this infused oil today. In order to choose the appropriate carrier oil that you're going to be making in your infusion, you're going to need to consider what you're making it for. What is the absorption rate that you're looking for? What is the viscosity within the finished product that you're looking for? Allow that to help you decide what oil you want to use. What are the benefits of a medicinal oil? Well, apart from the many benefits of the oils themselves, by adding a plant material into the infusion, you're going to be getting the benefits from the plants as well. What does that actually mean? Well, the actual benefits that you are going to get from any of your infusions are going to be dependent upon the materials that you're using. So what does that mean? It means that you can customize your formulations, your medicines, your oils, and meet specific needs that are based on what these plants are going to be able to meet and what these different oils can do. So you are going to be able to address a plethora of concerns by just infusing a simple plant with a simple oil. Pretty simple, isn't it? What would you want to use a medicinally infused oil for? Anything, really. You can use it as a base for salves, massage oils, creams, or lotions. And if you're interested in how to make any of those things, why don't you just go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos regarding some of the things that you can make with this medicinally infused oil. Today, we are going to be using yarrow flower, and the end result for this oil is actually going to be a salve that I'm making, but I will ask you to stay tuned for that video. Today, we're just going to concentrate on the oil themselves. So one more thing that you can actually do with a infused oil that we don't think about, culinary purposes. You could maybe infuse an olive oil with something like oregano, and then you are just upping your salad dressings, for example, or making a spectacular dip just for a bread. Really, like I said, the sky is the limit as to what you can do with your medicinal oils. So let's get started. So to make our medicinal oil today, we are going to be using a double boiler. Now, if you have your own double boiler, by all means, use that. If not, just grab a stainless steel bowl and put it over a pot of water. Now, before we go further, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I've made, pro tip, you need to make sure you don't run out of water in your bottom pot. I have done that. And it resulted in me wrecking a very expensive pot. So always be sure to check that you have enough water that it's on the bottom part of your double boiler. Okay? So all you're gonna do is take some herbs. Now I have yarrow flower, and all I did was I just put these in my blender and just kind of started to break them up a little bit. If you have a spice grinder, use that. You could even just use a knife and just put them on a cutting board and just kind of roughly cut them up. Whatever it is that you want to use. The only thing I'm going to suggest you don't do, well, a coffee grinder is a wonderful thing to use to crush up some of your herbs. Don't use the one that you use to actually grind up your coffee beans, okay? all of your medications or your medicinal oils and whatnot are going to smell like coffee. And if that's something that you want, that's fine, but probably not. So just use something that is dedicated to crushing up your herbs. Okay. So all we're going to do is just put our herbs in our pot. Then, once you have your herbs in the top part of your double boiler, you're just going to cover them with 1 or 2 inches of high quality oil. We're using this organic olive oil today. So, what we'll do So once you've covered your herbs with your high quality oil, all you need to do now is just turn on the stove, and we're just going to want our oil to just begin to simmer slowly. So now our water underneath is at a nice boil, and our herbs are just starting to kind of start to move around in there. We're not looking for a boil. We're looking for more of maybe a simmer. So just one thing that you want to keep in mind, the lower the temperature and the longer your infusion, the more powerful that your medicinal oil can actually be in the end. So low and slow, that's going to be your friend in this process. You just want to keep checking your herbs and just making sure that nothing's boiling and that we're just at a nice simmer. You can stir them around if you want, just to make sure that everything is getting nicely and evenly infused.
So now that we have been infusing for 60 minutes, and one way you can actually also tell that the herbs and your infusion are done is because it's going to actually start to smell herby. I know, it's a very scientific explanation, but it's no longer going to have that oily smell, and it's just going to have taken on more of an herby scent.
All right, so now that we have our infused oil, we are going to do the next step. So you want to make sure that the bowl isn't too hot, because I don't want you to burn yourself. But all you're going to do is just take measuring cup. I have this just little metal strainer, and then I am just lining it with some cheesecloth. And we're just going to strain the oil. Now, as we are straining our oil, we don't want to squeeze it at all. Okay, you don't want to end up with any of the plant matter inside of our final product. Okay. Just have a little bowl. I'm just going to dump some of this in. And yeah, just again, double check as you are using your double boiler that your bottom pot does not run out of water at all during your infusion. All right. There we go. And we are just going to move that out of the way. Now what you are left with is this beautifully infused medicinal oil. Now, there's only a couple more things that you need to do. It is ready to use now, but before we pour it in the jar to store it, there's a couple of things that you're gonna need to write down and pay attention to. So what I like to do is just on the lid, permanent Sharpie, nothing too complicated. I write what the flour was, I write the oil, the date, it was a double boiler, and I infused it for 60 minutes. You're going to include whatever information you feel is important, but here's the thing. Don't just rely on your memory. I can't tell you how many times I have made an infusion and I'm going to remember what's in it, and then I don't. And what happens then? If we aren't sure what it is, it just needs to be thrown out. So we don't want to waste anything around here. So you can simply make sure that you just take a second, write down what the flour was, the oil, and whatever other information that you need on the lid. Then all you gotta do is just pour your nicely strained oil into a storage jar. And then that's it. And it's ready to use. I hope you enjoyed this simple tutorial on how to make your own medicinal oils right in your kitchen. Comment down below and let me know what are some of your favorite infusions that you like to make. And don't forget to please like and share this video and pass it along to anybody else who you might feel would enjoy learning how to make their own medicinal oils. So until next time, thank you for spending this time with me, and I wish you well.